Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lewis Speaks 2024, and today I want to talk to y'all about why I bowed out of the gay community, why I just left and I just quit, because I realized that now you can't even be a gay man anymore. You know, these gay men won't even let you be gay because let's be real, the life is no longer fun. The life is just an empty shell of its former self. The men here do not value you at all. They treat you like a cum dump. You know, there's a preoccupation with lust as opposed to love. These men do not want to love you, they just want to use you. I recently saw a post by a gay man who says that after he has sex with other men, he just wants them to leave. He tells them your Uber is downstairs. He doesn't want to dignify them with affection. He doesn't want to dignify them with a date or a promise to call back. All he wants to do is use their bodies and then discard them like their tissue or crumpled paper. And I realized that this is the sentiment of the gay community. There is no love here anymore. There's just a preoccupation with penis. They want to use other men for just sex. And it's disgusting out here. It's just trash. And it's like there's so many gay men out here looking for love stories. But the thing about it is this: gay men rather lust than love because love requires a level of responsibility that a lot of these men do not want to take on. And that's the reality. They don't want to take on the responsibility that is love. Love requires you to show up. Love requires an unselfish looking out for the well being of another person. Love requires sacrifice. Love requires investment. Love requires so many things that these men are not trying to give. All they want is a good time. That's it. They want an easy screw. They don't want a caring, loving, thoughtful, kind person. They want raw, butt naked sex served hot on a platter. And the thing about it is this: on the surface, many gay men say that they want something real, right? But when they get something real, when they actually get that real, and when that real requires a level of commitment that they're just not used to, they run. They dart in the other direction. They really don't want what they say they want. They like the fantasy of a relationship and not the reality of a relationship. They like the flowers, cards, and candies. They like the sentiment, but they don't like the actual application of love. You know, your partner gets sick, is no longer able to perform. Will you stay with them? Of course not. These men are off to the races. It no longer becomes fun in a relationship after years of being with someone, so they get bored and they either cheat or engage in consensual cheating, ethical non monogamy, aka polyamory, aka throuples, aka open relationships, and so you find yourself having to adjust your morals, adjust your perspectives just to get love. And I use love in quotes because it's not love. What it is just lust. What it is codependence. What it is a fear of dying alone. What it is just people trying to get their own needs satiated. It's not love, it's anything but love with this community. And I've learned that firsthand. I've had numerous experiences where I have made a hoe out of myself, and I have actually laid up under somebody trying to get some love, trying to get some affection, and in return got used. And there are so many of us men all too willing to allow ourselves to be used for the illusion of love, the illusion, just that small dose of affection we magnify and we project and we blow up as love. But it's not love. It's not love. What it is cheap lust. What it is empty promises. What it is a series of illusions designed to trick us and make us believe that there's love here. But there ain't no love. Because love is sacrifice. Love is looking out for the well-being of someone else. That's love. Even when it doesn't serve us, we're looking out for the well-being of another person. That's love. What we see now, and especially within the gay community, is just people trying to get off. People come to this community to get off. They come to this community to dump their scum, to rid themselves of unwanted emotions. They come to this community to vent their anger and their rage. They don't come here to love us. And when you wake up to that reality, when you really, really see and wake up to that reality, it's disheartening. You become disillusioned. You become disenchanted with the life. I have become very disenchanted with the life. I am now seeking spiritual sobriety. I'm now seeking to be released from this life because I feel like in many ways it has lied to me, it has deceived me, it has sold me a faulty bill of goods. It has made me think that there was something here for me when in actuality it was nothing here for me. It was just the pursuit of empty encounters, the pursuit of empty emotions. Always chasing after a ghost, it feels like. Chasing after a ghost, chasing after something that's not real. Hoping to get this unreality, hoping to get something answered. It's elusive. And that's what makes it attractive, because you can never catch it. And so you're always in this perpetual search of love and attention and just affection. And it's a mess. It's a mess out here. And I continue to make these videos. Why? Because I try to wake other gay men up. I want them to see the truth. And don't fall for the same illusions and traps that I fell for. And do I think that they're going to? Of course they're going to, because when you're hungry, anything looks like food. When you're hungry, you become desperate. And when you become desperate, you become blind. And when you become blind, you make yourself vulnerable and susceptible to the wiles and machinations of very, very broken, damaged men. So that's the thing. A lot of gay men, especially early in their career as gay men, they are very, very lonely. They are very hungry. Many have a father wound. Many have a molestation wound. Many have a rape wound. Many have a trauma wound. Many have all these wounds. And these wounds are screaming. And they're calling out and they're begging. They're begging for attention. They're begging to be treated. They're begging for nurturance. They're begging for healing. And the community, right, it offers up itself as healing. It offers up itself as an answer, a solution, as love, as nurturance, as care, as concern. It offers up itself as longing, desire, seduction. It's very alluring. It lures you in. But the reality is, it's just luring you in, trying to lure you away from your sense of morality, trying to lure you away from your sense of integrity, trying to lure you away from your sense of spirituality and your connection with God. It's just trying to lure you away from all of that. But of course, you don't see that because the wounds are screaming louder than the reason. The wounds are screaming louder than the truth. The pain of loneliness, the pain of absentee caretakers, the pain is screaming louder than any other desire, than any ration. You don't want to hear something that's rational. You want something that will alleviate this pain, this ache, this desire, this longing. You want something to answer, and the thing about the gay life, it'll answer you, but you won't like the answer in the long run. It will temporarily address all those wounds, but that's only until you get deeper and deeper and deeper into the life. And then what ends up happening is that it creates more wounds. So you're going out there trying to address your father wound, and you're dealing with men who are emotionally unavailable like your father. You're dealing with men who are abusive like your father. You're dealing with men who are neglectful, who are indifferent like your father. So it's like it's creating more and more wounds in your attempt to try to heal in relationship with these men. What ends up happening is that you further exacerbate all the painful wounds that initially drove you to the life. So here you are, turning yourself into a human cum dump, turning yourself into a cum rag in which men discard and throw away and do not want to hold, do not want to cuddle with. Tell me something. Have you ever seen a man cuddle with his cum rag? Have you ever seen a man cuddle with his cum dump? Typically after a man orgasms, he wipes himself off and throws away the napkin or the piece of cloth. It's discarded. And the funny thing, you're letting yourself be toyed with. You're letting these boys play in your holes. And then once they get their rocks off, they're sending you packing. Once they get their rocks off, they're telling you to F off. And there you are, lonely in your Uber home, full of some man's undiagnosed semen, going home, no future, no name. Sometimes you don't even get a name from these people. That's another thing about this life. Everything is anonymous. There's this glorification of anonymous sex. There's a glorification of casual sex. No meaning, no history, no care, no concern. They don't even care about you enough to tell you their real name. Some of them will use an alias, and aliens. An alias. They will use an alias. They'll say, oh, my name is Cool Breeze. My name is T. My name is Q. Who? What's your government name, though? What's the name your mother gave you? Because to name someone is to give them meaning. They don't even want to give us their name. They don't want to give us meaning. Because we don't mean anything to them. All we are is just a temporary thrill. That's it. Something to take the edge off during finals week. Something to take the edge off to help them deal with their grief. That's all we are to them. And so our responsibility is to stop allowing other people to turn us into cum rags. Stop allowing these men to turn you into a monster. Stop allowing these dudes to turn you into a nightmare. you know, and then blaming them when they're just being who they are. You know, these men are broken. Anybody that does not want to dignify you with their name, anyone that doesn't want to dignify you with their friendship and their loyalty and their integrity, do you really want to be around such people? And I know when you're younger, you're looking for experience, so you really don't place high premiums on intimacy, on getting to know someone, on commitment, because you're so busy chasing after novel experiences. But the thing about it is this, ultimately that gets old. And the thing is, you're collecting all these nuts. You're the nut collector. You're collecting all these empty nuts from these niggas, man. Come on. It's just ridiculous. All these empty nuts. Your body is just a container for traumatized nut. And then you wonder why there's these disturbances, psychological disturbance, depression. You know, it's all relative. Letting someone into your energy field, right, to cause disturbance. You got to take responsibility for your role in this, because as long as you absolve yourself of responsibility, as long as you shirk the responsibility onto, oh, it's their fault, blaming them, never taking accountability, you will continue to be the nut collector. You will continue to be a receptacle for traumatized semen. So wake up. We gotta wake up. We gotta do better, because this ain't it. This ain't it. I see so many gay men who are walking around just hollow, empty, devoid of all feeling. They allowed some man to come into their hearts and just clean them out. And what I've learned, it's unfortunate really, I've learned that you can literally ruin yourself for love. You can ruin yourself for love by allowing so many strange people into your energy field. You are God's temple. This is God's temple. This is the temple that houses the Holy Spirit. So the thing about it is this, if you're letting everybody come into your temple and desecrate your temple, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to have low spirits, because we are spirit beings having a human experience. So if you come and let somebody destroy your temple, the temple that houses the Holy Spirit, right? You don't think that there's going to be an adverse consequence? An adverse reaction? The adverse reaction being low spirits, depression, sadness, emptiness. There's so many gay men who struggle with feelings of emptiness and don't know why. And so they keep on trying to chase after another man to fill them up, to fill their empty up. But the thing about it is this, these men do not fill them up. These men come with cups that they just take and they dig into your body and they keep on depleting you. They hold their cup up to your veins and say, pour, pour. And when you struggle with boundaries, you're a people pleaser, you turn on the faucet, you open the spigot, and you let the blood flow. And people love it when you bleed for them. They love it when you bleed for them. You know? Have boundaries. Stop bleeding for these men. Stop bleeding and giving up your goodness to these broke down messes. Please. Give your goodness to God and He will multiply it. Give your joy, give your peace, give your patience, give your love, give your kindness. Give it to God and He will multiply it. When you give it to these broken men, all they end up doing is destroying it and depleting you of your joy. So once again, I do these videos over and over and over and over, not only to reinforce my own resolves, to remain abstinent from the life, but also to educate young men who are out there trying their best to fight this thorn, because it is a thorn. It's a thorn in our flesh that we have to combat every single day. And I want them to know that they're not alone. You're not alone in how you feel, because there are so many of us who are fighting this private battle and nobody knows. We can't share this with anybody. This is what we call a disenfranchised thorn, because we can't really share this with anyone. This is a disenfranchised grief. We can't share this with anyone because everyone feels as though we're being homophobic, as though we are somehow closeted or in denial or suffering from a form of internalized homophobia. This ain't it. No, it's not that. It's basically you want more than just an empty encounter. You want more than just emptiness. You want to feel whole. You want to feel full. You want to feel good. And this life is not doing it. And so you have to reevaluate. You go through a shift. You realize that everything I thought, things like I was born this way, I'm fighting for my rights. I'm standing up for myself here. This is my truth. That's a big one nowadays. Oh, this is my truth. I'm living my truth. No, you're living your lie. You're living what you've been told. You've been told and sold the lie that you were born this way. That's not true. There is no scientific evidence proving that there is a gay gene. So once again, we've been sold this faulty bill of goods. We've been sold this lie. And so we're living all these lies that feel like truth because it's addressing our wounds. See, your wounds are a lie. That's what we have to realize. Our wounds are not the truth. Our wounds are not who God created us to be. Our wounds are not the truth. What they are is one big lie. They are a scam that we've been told is a part of our identity. But the thing about it is this: when you make your wounds your identity, guess what? You stay wounded. When you make struggle your identity, guess what? You stay struggling. This is why you have to find your identity in God and find your identity in Christ, because then you can say, okay, I'm looking upward. I'm not saying I want to continue to live wounded. I don't want to live in my wounds. I don't want to live in the problem. I want to live in the solution. That's the solution. God. It's time we live in the solution. So I hope this video lands safely on your heart. Please know I'm coming from a place of love, and love sometimes requires you to tell difficult things. Love requires you to have conversations that are difficult. It requires you to share difficult truths. And so please, please open your heart and receive this love, because it's real. When someone loves you, they're going to have the difficult conversations, especially when it's going to save you. So please open your heart. And I hope this lands safely on your heart. And please share. I'm here with you. This is Lewis Speaks, wishing everybody a wonderful 2024. Peace, y'all.